This is Lala, Kent, and Scheana spilling some more of the reunion tea. I know earlier we talked about it, but let's do a little bit of a deeper dive. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Lala Kent is dishing on the recently filmed Vanderpump Rules reunion. Before sharing her thoughts on Tom Sandoval's recent date with Raquel in Los Angeles, Lala reacted to a fan question on Amazon Live, which asked if it was Sandoval and Tom Schwartz who were involved in a near brawl at the season 10 reunion. I'm not going to say who it was. I will say Andy Cohen got involved. He could hardly control it, so security got involved. I won't say who was trying to brawl or whatever, but it was a very heated the entire day, Lala admitted on Amazon Live via TikTok. Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I think it's James and Tom Schwartz. That's who I think almost came to blows. I think it's James and Tom Schwartz. But, Jax Taylor came out and all he said was the boys. And the boys could be James and Tom Schwartz. It could be James and Tom Sandoval. It could be Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz. So put it down below. What do you guys think? According to Lala, she and her castmates got calls from producers prior to the taping, asking them if they wanted them to wait to bring Sandoval and Raquel, whose affair was revealed in early March, out until after other storylines of the season were addressed. I said, everyone's storyline is important. I know that this happened. I'm sorry that Ariana is hurt, but my storyline is important and whatever I'm affected by. Katie Maloney, she was deeply affected by a lot of people in this group. Scheana Shay, my girl got married. We should be able to talk about all of those things, Lala recalled. Now, this is the thing. I agree with that. However, this scandal has tentacles, right? It's really infiltrated every single aspect of everybody else's storyline. So it's you can't talk about other people's storylines without talking about the scandal because it infiltrated every single piece of it. You talk about Scheana Shay's wedding. Oh, well, everyone is saying that Tom Sandoval and Raquel disappeared for 3 hours because they were off having sex. Now everybody's talking about, Katie wasn't able to come to your wedding and the two of you were beefing because you were pushing Raquel under Schwartz the entire time. And now you know that you were being completely played because Raquel was smashing Sandoval the entire time and using you and Schwartz as a decoy. How do you feel about that? So it's there's so many things now what the scandal really affects. Lala saying, Katie was really hurt, but now we know the entire time the Raquel and Schwartz storyline was fake. It was a lie. It was an intentional decoy, and they used Scheana. So how does Katie now feel about that when she was giving Raquel a pass and just going off against Scheana? She's missed her wedding. She didn't invite her on the Vegas trip. That their friendship was severely fractured. That's a big deal. You're going to look back on those memories and be like, I missed my friend's wedding because my ex-husband was lying to me and someone that I considered a friend was lying to me. And I missed my friend's wedding. That's a big memory that's a moment not to be a part of. So it's everything that they've done infiltrates it. Even Lala's storyline, Sandoval going after her. Oh, you're such a bully. You're such a bully. Can't believe you slept with James 6 years ago when him and Raquel first started dating. Meanwhile, he's been busting it open with Raquel for 7 months to a year. But yet you want to talk about Lala drunkenly hooking up with James 6 years ago when James and Raquel literally had just met? But you want to be that self-righteous and yell at Lala, yell at Katie, acting like they're these horrible people? But yet you've really been just, busting it open with Raquel in Ariana's house, dressing up as her as Halloween like a weirdo, having these, lightning bolt necklaces together. What is that psychotic stuff? So there's no way for them to only talk about their storylines without being in the context of the scandal, right? So we'll see how it goes, how they figure it out, right? All right, let's keep going. However, while she believed in her naive mind that she and her co stars would be able to address other things, tensions rose quickly. The second I sat down, it was nails up, two fingers directed at whoever I was talking to. I was like completely blacked out. I can't even tell you what happened, she admitted. It was like the most intense day, and I won't even lie. When I left, I felt disgusted. I felt sick. I was like, my energy was off. I felt like I was in a room with two people who I don't want their energy near me, Lala continued. I definitely saged myself. I saged the house, I saged my bags, and the things that I took into the reunion. I wanted to sage anything that went into that space. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. In other pop news, Lala slammed Sandoval as a one-trick pony. On her podcast, she reacted to his calculated post-reunion dinner date with Raquel. They went to Musso and Frank after the Pump Rule Season 10 reunion taping. Lala said on the March 29th episode of Give Them Lala via Page 6. It was the same place that he took Ariana for their 9-year anniversary back in January. That's where they went. That's sick. That is very sick and psycho. According to Lala, Sandoval has exhibited the same patterns with Raquel, but is no longer taking her to little places he did before their affair was exposed. Now he's been outed, so Raquel has been upgraded, Lala said. She's no longer a mistress, so she's whatever she is or isn't. We're taking her to Musso and Frank for a bottle of wine and some oysters. That is absolutely crazy. But I want to know what you guys think about this whole situation, about the reunion, other things that they have said about the reunion. So Lala and Scheana both said that Sandoval and Raquel basically had zero remorse for what they did, like zero remorse. They also said that Raquel did not shed a single tear. She just laughed and smirked. And she basically was unapologetic, just being like, yeah, it happened, whatever. And was just being really weird and creepy. It's just a lot of very psycho things. And like, as we said earlier, Scheana also said that Raquel had sex in the same bed that Scheana and Brock and her baby sleep in. When Scheana let Raquel have a place to stay when she had broken up with James, their Marina Del Rey apartment, without cleaning the sheets, and that Raquel also has sex with some random guy on the kitchen table where she like feeds her family and was like, did you clean up after yourself? And she was like, no. So this is the type of person we're dealing with. Like, no regard, no boundaries, no decency, no thought for other people. If you're letting me stay in your home or stay in your apartment, I'm not going to have sex in the bed that you share with your husband and your child when I have my own room. It's not like it's a 1-bedroom apartment. It's a multi-bedroom apartment in Marina Del Rey. They're huge. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And then Sandoval, they said, as we know, was just being super defensive, gaslighting, basically blaming Ariana for everything. They said that Ariana really kept her cool. She looked amazing. She wore a red dress, and she really slayed with her words, and she really got them. Also, Scheana said that they did the reunion like I said that they would. Go back and listen to my episodes because remember I was like, how much is 100 yards? I was like, how big is that? And you guys are like, Candy, it's a football field. I was like, oh. Anyway, but they did the reunion the way I said that they would do it in segments, that they would have Scheana come out. She would film for her segment, boom, boom, boom. They would have her leave. And then they would make sure that Scheana and Raquel physically did not cross paths. So like when Scheana would be in her dressing room, then Raquel could come onto stage, do her part, boom, 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 whatever the case is. And then they would make sure that they strategically did not cross paths. But didn't I say that they would have both of them there in person? And that's what happened. No Zoom or anything like that. So yeah, so that's what they did. They just had them both in person, but they strategically didn't cross paths or whatever the case was. Ugh. But I want to know what you guys think of this situation. What do you think about Andy Cohen having to physically restrain someone, but he wasn't strong enough, so security got in? I think it's James and Schwartz, but we'll see. Put it down below who you think. What do you think about Raquel showing no remorse and really being defiant and smirking and laughing and just being silent instead of, offering apologies. What do you think about that? What do you think about, Raquel having the audacity to call the paparazzi to tape her leaving Ariana and Tom Sandoval's house, clearly after a booty call, And what do you think? Like, do you agree? I don't think that Tom Sandoval wanted to be spotted with Raquel leaving the house. I think he's strategically trying to appease her in certain ways, but I also think he's trying to figure out his exit strategy. We also read that article earlier about, sources close to Tom, aka Tom himself, being like, oh, we really like each other, but we've realized that like the odds are stacked against us as a couple, and we just want to take our time and blah 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 blah. To me, I think that's him paving, like pre-paving the narrative for when he's able to dump Raquel. You know what I mean? I think he's really trying to figure out a way of how he's going to get out of it. Because just like Lala said, and I agree, it's just a pattern for Tom. Rachel Raquel is just another Kristen, another Ariana, another Miami girl, another fangirl, except that Rachel Raquel has a different type of tick boom. It's a different type of tick boom. And I think he's like, this is fatal attraction. I'm worried. And another reason why I think that is because just think logically. Even if you are a narcissistic, egotistical jerk, whatever, would you stay with someone who had the capability, like I said earlier, would you stay with someone who had the capability of filing fake police reports, taking legal action against somebody knowing that they're lying? Would you stay with someone who basically told the world that you videotaped them in a sexually compromising position without their consent when you didn't, knowing that's a lie? Would you stay with someone who had no problem telling the world that you basically groomed them and took advantage of them when they were vulnerable? Would you stay with someone who has no problem telling the world that about you? No. But you would stay with them if you were scared of, well, if they're capable of that, what else are they capable of? That's why I think Rachel Raquel is on a different level of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazy than everybody else. Kristen Doty, lover or hater, she's just a regular cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kristen is just out here when she was doing her thing. Like, she's not that different than anybody else, in the 20s, dipping it and doing it, drinking and popping off. Ariana, sure, she shouldn't have cheated on, she shouldn't have cheated with Tom when he was in a relationship. I get it. But that's not anything special or different than your average girl who's out there, low self-esteem and thinks that she's going to feel better about herself, because she's cheating with this guy and she wants him to pick her. It's not right, but I don't think it's that remarkable. But Rachel Raquel, this is a different type of cuckoo. This is a different type of cuckoo. It's a different type of cuckoo. And I think even he is like, wait a minute, I bit off more than I could chew. Because Tom was dead wrong for everything he's done. Everything he's done, he's dead wrong for. But I don't believe the lies that Rachel Raquel has said. I don't think he groomed her. I don't think he taped her without her consent. I think he's a cheater. I think he's a liar. I think he has narcissistic tendencies. I think he's ego. He's an immature little boy. But I don't think he's a predator. And if he doesn't have the wherewithal to understand that is essentially what her and her team are saying about him, then he's really lost the plot. But she didn't have a problem doing a temporary restraining order, lying to the LAPD, lying to our court system, saying that Scheana Shay punched her, submitting false documents. She didn't have a problem doing that. She wouldn't have a problem saying, Tom did this to me, Tom did that to me. So, of course, he's trying to figure out, how do I get out of this situation without her popping off? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. And before you do that, my candy cans, you know what to do. Go ahead And like, subscribe, and share. Join our newsletter and our Patreon, which is all linked down below in the show notes. And with that, I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat. And then I'll also take some of your candy cane questions and comments. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's go. I'm just going to start.